Hello guys, Dusty here with another YouTube video, and yeah, we have found more video games. Isn't that exciting? So yeah, I can't wait to show you guys all the new pickups. However, I had actually forgotten about a pickup from a while ago that I hadn't put in a video yet. So the story of that was I was recording the video where I had found Super Smash Bros. Melee for $3 at the Mason City Goodwill. And as I was talking about this game, I looked at the time I had left on my phone to record, and I had about 30 seconds left to wrap up the video. So I immediately had to wrap up the video and completely forgot about something that I had actually picked up on the same day as this. I was in Mason City, so I went back to my hometown, went to the Pawnshop, and managed to find Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories for the Game Boy Advance for $2. So not a bad pickup, definitely. From what I hear, it's fairly good. So yeah, happy to add that one to the collection. So then you probably have watched, maybe, I don't know, if you haven't watched my last pickup video, watch it. It's crazy. But yeah, I managed to find a nice stack of N64 games along with some Nintendo and Super Nintendo, well, a Super Nintendo game at the Goodwill for $1 a piece. So yeah, that was pretty crazy. The day after, though, I had walked into the pawn shop. And I don't know how life works out like this, but the day after I walk into the pawn shop, I find a stack of Nintendo 64 games again. So I asked, and kind of funny story about this, there was a reseller, well, it looked like a reseller. He had his phone out. He was individually looking up the games on eBay. Like, you know those guys. I'm sure if you guys go out and look for video games, you've seen that guy who is just like, oh, let's pick up Madden 2002 and see if it's worth anything. So yeah, I knew I had to just run to the portable case, but it didn't look like there was anything interesting in the PS2 and Xbox games anyway. But yeah, as I run over to the portable games case, where they keep all their portable consoles, like 3DSs and stuff like that, I found a stack of Nintendo 64 games. So I immediately run up to the front of the pawn shop and ask someone to let me in the case to see those games, and we managed to pick up all of them. So yeah, and there's, I believe, 5 games here? No, yeah, 5 games. Okay, so, first off, one of them that I have no idea why I bought another copy of. Maybe it's because I just wasn't 100% sure that I had this already, but I did already have it, right here. And my one that I had was even in better condition. But I did pay oh wait, no, that's Turok. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a long day. The game that I had found for $2 at Goodwill, Madden 2002. This is the Pawnshop Madden 2002. But yeah, I figure might as well have an extra copy of that to, I don't know, sit on or use as a coaster or something. But yeah, I'm sure I can use the back of the game for something or something. I don't know. But yeah, next up, we managed to find a little bit more of an exciting pickup. We found Wave Race 64. This is actually, how many of these have I picked up in the wild? Probably 4 or 5, but yeah, doesn't hurt to have an extra one. It's a good one to give away with another Nintendo 64 whatnot. It was only $2, so you can't say no to that. The next up, we found a game that you definitely can't say no to for $2. GoldenEye 007 for the Nintendo 64. Yeah, I'll buy any $2 copy of Madden. GoldenEye 007 I could get my hands on. So yeah, pretty cool to have found that. $2 at the pawn shop. Now the next games here are actually games that I didn't have already, so these are kind of exciting. We found Mayhem, which I assume is a wrestling game for the Nintendo 64 for $2, so that's going to go in the collection. We are running out of room for Nintendo 64 games very quickly. And then also, we found Extreme G for the Nintendo 64. And this is a game where I was looking through the stack of Nintendo 64 games, and I saw this, and I was like, oh, that is that game that I always used to play at my babysitter's house when I was a kid. And yeah, I had been wondering what this game was all this time. I know I could have probably looked through like the art of like all the Nintendo 64 games to have found it, but yeah, I used to love this game as a kid. I don't know if it's any good now, but after seeing that cover art, it just like jogged my memory. I was like, oh, that is the game that I used to play when I was a kid at my babysitter's house. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go ahead and give that a try when I get my N64 hooked up. So yeah, that was all the N64 pickups from that round, and it was only like $12 for a stack of N64 games. Not as good as $1 for Nintendo, $1 for freaking where is it? We have Paper Mario, $1 for paper. I still cannot believe that. But okay, so what pickup? Okay, so these pickups were next. It was a couple days later. I had went into the pawn shop again, and I went to their portable games case where I'd found the N64 games, and there was just so many portable games. There was like at least 20 DS games laid out, and they only had a couple the few days ago when I picked up the N64 games. Like 20 DS games, like 15 Game Boy Advance games, you know, probably 15 UMDs, like 2 3DS games, which I picked up both of, and of course a Game Gear game. Now I looked through all the DS and Game Boy Advance games, and they were all not very good. But they did have a couple good PSP UMDs. They were like all shovelware, by the way. I was like, you know, just it must have been some kid who had a Nintendo DS and a Game Boy Advance who thought, maybe I don't know, what is a shovelware-y game? Just imagine a shovelware game. It was probably there. But yeah, I did manage to find some pretty interesting ones, including a Game Gear game in the case there. So I suppose we'll start off with the PSP UMDs here because they're readily accessible. So yeah, for starters, I had found what is this game called again? Crowlancer, Wayfarer of Time for the PSP. Now, I had never heard of this game before, but I know it's an Atlas game, and I had looked it up to figure out, okay, is it worth picking up the individual UMD? And it looks like the UMD goes for about $10, so I figured, heck yeah, for $2. By the way, all these were $2. So, $2, I figured, why not? Crowlancer, Wayfarer of Time for the PSP. And there are also a couple other PSP games, including Monster Hunter Freedom, for the PSP. I'd never actually played any of the Monster Hunter games, but I hear they are very good, so I'm going to have to go ahead and give those a try now that I have a PSP. And Monster Hunter 2 Freedom, or Monster Hunter Freedom 2, depending on the way you look at it. Probably if you look at it like that. I don't know. But yeah, Monster Hunter 2 Freedom, or whatever, for $2. So, alright, and I usually don't pick up just individual UMDs, but from what I hear, the Monster Hunter games are really good, and Atlas games, so, you know, I have to buy it. I feel contractually obligated to buy Atlas games at this point. Like, I don't know, I'm considering just going for an entire complete Atlas collection. I don't think many people go out and do that, so I want to have some kind of original gimmick. I gotta have at least one, because right now I'm just generic guy in front of video games talking about video games he found. Anyway, so moving right along with the rest of the pickups, and I had actually put some pickups on top of other pickups that I'm going to need to talk about, so we're going to move those. And we're going to talk about the Game Gear game that I found from the pawn shop, which is Pinball Dreams. Now, from what I hear, this is actually a very good pinball game, and they also had it on the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis. So, yeah, figured Pinball Dreams, $2. Go ahead. And also, I think this is the only Game Gear game I picked up this year. I might have picked some up with the Game Gear that I found at a garage sale, but yeah, I'm pretty sure though this is the only Game Gear game that I found, because I just never find Game Gear stuff over here. So yeah, kind of sad, but because I really do like the Game Gear. It's an interesting little console. But yeah, I still even have my price sticker on it. But yeah, because it's been so freaking difficult to get off. But yeah. And by the way, these things are huge in person. Like, okay, so my first Game Gear I bought was actually in a pickup video a long time ago, but I had bought it on eBay with this Sega CD, complete in the box. Well, not complete in the box, it doesn't have the instructions, but come on, pretty close to complete. But I had actually picked it up, and I thought these are maybe a little bit bigger than a Game Boy original, and no, they're freaking huge. So I don't know how these are portable, but it is pretty freaking awesome. So, anyway, we're going to move on to the portable games now that I've went on that wild tangent. We managed to find a portable game that I already had, Super Mario 3D Land, but how do you pass this game up for $2? I don't know how you do it. That's why I buy it so often. And also, Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing for the DS, which I actually didn't have for the DS. In fact, I believe I only have it, though it was probably on every game console in existence at this point. I only had it for the Wii U, and I actually like the Wii U version quite a bit, so probably going to have to give the 3DS version a try at some point. Yeah, and those were all the portable pickups from that excursion to the pawn shop. So now, we're going to get to some more interesting pickups here. Okay, so I think there was like a lull in pickups for a few days at this point. And I had walked into the pawn shop. Well, actually, okay, so this is very similar to the I forgot my wallet story, but not quite as climactic. Like, I had walked into the Goodwill and realized I had forgotten my wallet before, but didn't find anything in the Goodwill. So I went over to the pawn shop and figured, okay, if I find anything at the pawn shop, then I'll just come back with my wallet, but if not, I'll, stay home. And I found some stuff at the pawn shop, and I didn't have my wallet, so I ran home, got my wallet, ran back, and luckily they were still there, though I wasn't as excited about these ones because I have most of them. But one of them that I was actually very excited to pick up because I didn't have it before was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 for the Nintendo 64 for $2. They also had another copy of Pro Skater in there for $2, but I already have 2 copies of Pro Skater, so yeah, did not have Pro Skater 2 yet though, so that will be going in my collection. All right, and we also found, along with those games, we found quite possibly the worst condition ever, Mario Bros. Duck Hunt World Class Track Meet. I actually almost just bought this one because it was in so bad of condition. Like, seriously, look, it looks like somebody got it wet and then set it on fire. It's almost kind of funny in that way, but yeah. $2, I figured, what the heck, if not, it's an extra Mario Bros. Duck Hunt World Class Track Meet card. I do already have Mario Bros. Duck Hunt World Class Track Meet. I just cannot seem to find it at the moment. But yeah, figured, heck, $2. Why not? And this one I was definitely happy to pick up for $2. But, okay, guys, I should probably break out. Okay, I'll just grab a bag here because this is... Okay, we found quite possibly the grossest copy of Super Mario Bros. 3 in existence. Like, seriously, it's just covered with goo and hair. But it's Super Mario Bros. 3 for $2. So, I mean, I wasn't gonna pass it up, right? But yeah, and I figure, this will actually probably be a good cartridge to display how to clean an NES cartridge, which is kind of a series that I'm planning on doing, how to clean different game cartridges and consoles and stuff like that. So, yeah, because I like cleaning games, cartridges, and consoles and whatnot. So yeah, we're just gonna gently, actually, we're gonna wrap this up in the bag just so it doesn't like contaminate anything. There we go. That's better. All right, so we're almost done with the pickups, but I did actually manage to pick up a game yesterday from the Goodwill. For $3, I managed to find WarioWare Touched. Not the craziest pickup in the world, but it is complete in nice condition for $3. And I figure, the WarioWare games are freaking fantastic, right? So, gotta have that one on the shelf here. All right, and then the other games that I found, I had actually found them at the pawn shop yesterday, but their like corporate servers were entirely down, so they couldn't sell them to me that day, so they just put them under the counter, and I went in and picked them up today. But yeah, it was a GameCube and a Xbox game. The Xbox game was Star Wars Battlefront. Now, I believe I already do have Star Wars Battlefront for the Xbox, and I believe I have the regular case with the Platinum Hits version of the game in it. This one is the Platinum Hits case with the Platinum Hits version of the game, so figured might as well go and get a, actually matching copy of the game for $2. I mean, $2 is a really good price for Star Wars Battlefront for the Xbox, so how you go wrong with that? And then the next game I picked up, almost just because it's a GameCube game, but, I'm trying to complete my GameCube collection, and it is going incredibly slowly, but I did manage to find another GameCube game, and it is True Crime New York City for the GameCube, and it's actually in not the greatest of shape. It does look like it has been resurfaced. But yeah, $2, I figure. It's a game that I did not have for the GameCube. That, and apparently AJ owned it. So props to AJ for writing his initials on the manual, because then I'll be able to do a video on how to remove Sharpie from a game manual. And also, Gun is available November 2005. That's fun. I do have Gun for the GameCube, but I don't know if I lent it to somebody or not. I can't remember. But anyway, $2, figured, why the heck not. So yeah, that's all the pickups from this video. Yeah, I mean, I've been surprised with how much good stuff I've been finding lately, particularly because it is October already. And usually October is like the pre-holiday lull. You know, I never find anything in October. And now all of a sudden I'm just finding all kinds of games. Like I found that score of N64 games at the Goodwill. I found a bunch of N64 games at the Pawnshop. You know, just a variety of portable games, a variety of games in general, and even a GameCube game, which I haven't found a GameCube game in like months. So this is like really exciting to me for some reason. But yeah, I guess that's really all to say. Other than I am planning on doing a game room tour video soon when I get all of my consoles and stuff set up. And I'm also working my way through Persona 3 still. And I've actually gotten to near the end of the game, but I'm kind of stumped on a part, so I'm going to have to do some level grinding. But eventually I will be able to do my retrospective of Persona 3. So that's kind of the Dusty Do forecast. And who knows, maybe I'll find some more video games and be able to do another pickup video. But this has been Dusty. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see y'all next time. Take it easy.